in this very important occasion of the historic second National General Council of the ANC Youth League, which takes place at the time the ANC Youth League celebrates 81 years of its founding in 1944. As many of you would know, this was after the ANC National Conference of 1943, which reiterated its earlier decision that there must be a Congress Youth League. Today, our prime focus will be on the tasks of the ANC Youth League by summarily tracing the defining historical epochs in the evolution of the ANC Youth League since it was launched in 1944 up to the present. Throughout the history defining epochs, the youth of South Africa helped advance the struggle for freedom and democracy openly through the ANC Youth League and underground through Mkhonto weSizwe. Even when the Youth League was banned, together with the ANC, the historical moment of youth activism, as kick-started by the Youth League of 1944 generation, reverberated throughout history up to the present. Whilst the decision was made by the ANC in 1943 National Conference in Bloemfontein, the agitation for the formation of the Youth League was by the youth themselves. The idea to form the Youth League was the idea that came through a comrade called Mxolisi Majombozi, who was laid to rest in the Eastern Cape, Ekhobusana region. And we celebrated his life. Comrade Nelson Mandela told us that Mxolisi Majombozi, before the Youth League was formed, he came and muted the idea of the ANC Youth League. The ANC Youth League was a turning point in the history of the African National Congress. In their interpretation of the socio-economic and political conditions, it is the ANC Youth League that changed the African National Congress character and brought in militancy in the forward march struggle for liberation in our country. They brought in the militant defiance campaign. They swelled the ranks of leadership of the African National Congress. They brought in and led in the formation of Mkhonto weSizwe. Therefore, the task of the youth of 1944 was to alter the trajectory of the struggle through radical and militant action, leading to the defiance campaign inspired by the slogan, "Freedom in our lifetime." They rejected what they called trusteeship in favor of brand of African nationalism that was informed by the self-determination of the oppressed to free themselves from colonialism and later apartheid. Throughout the decades of struggle from Anton Limbede in 1944 to Peter Mokaba in 1994, the main task of the Youth League was to champion bondage. It was against this that Solomon Kalushi Mahlangu declared in the face of the gallows on the 6th of April that my blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. Tell my people that I love them. They must continue with the fight. On various stages of the struggle against apartheid, the youth of our country were faced with intensifying adversity, the defiance campaign, and so on. But they were at the helm in ensuring that we deepen defiance and the fight against apartheid in South Africa. Comrades, the electoral outcomes had the effect of altering South Africa's political landscape. With the advent of the government of national unity, this reality demands of us to sharpen our focus and put our best foot forward in using state power to make a better life for all and live the reality for all our people as we advance the objectives of the NTR. We don't have the luxury of infighting. We don't have the luxury of inward looking. The struggle to liberate our people is out there, and we are needed. And the ANC Youth League is going to be in the forefront and at the center of the struggle of ensuring that the ANC wins back power. Comrades, bickering and infighting and the choices of leadership you want is not what South Africans want. You may despise Mbalula and like Colin. You may despise that comrade and like that one. But South Africans are not looking that from us. They want leadership for real change for their lives. And the youth of South Africa need leadership from you. We don't expect Colin to speak like President Ramaphosa. We want him to lead the youth. But we don't want him to be reckless. We don't want directionless militancy. We want militancy that have got direction. We want conscious youth. That is why we have introduced the foundational course. That is why the Youth League have made the right calls. As you come here today, when government was amending regulations for credit in South Africa, it is the Youth League that started first and said, we don't agree with embedding with the youth with credit in South Africa. And hence our government have listened and have withdrawn that. And that was started by Colin Malachi and Guze in the Youth League press conference, the National Executive Committee of Youth League. Comrades, we don't want drum majorettes from the Youth League. We want the youth that is alive, that is militant, that is leading the youth struggles. You occupied the streets of Johannesburg. Millions of the youth came behind you and said, we want jobs, manje. In Johannesburg, you went to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And today, what is the battle cry of the youth in South Africa? And what is the battle cry of our people? It is unemployment. And that struggle was led by the Youth League. And that is why this General Council is important. Education is important. And the Youth League lead from the front. But education without consciousness and clarity of ideology, it means nothing to everyone else. Because universities will become ivory towers. And in this instance, we know that ivory towers can ideologically be contested. It is not correct, therefore, to leave them as such. It required the brain power of the militant youth of our country, led by the ANC Youth League. Comrades, it is important, like Frantz Fanon's famous words, declaring that each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it. Speak to this reality as it has over the decades and history, defining epochs that I've alluded to. The evolution of the domestic political factors, underpinned by economic conditions and their interplay with geopolitical factors, set the tone for the tasks at hand that require decisive leadership. The theme of this NGC, pursuit of economic freedom and social change, now and not later, could not be more relevant. You must remember, comrades, that the idea and the slogan of economic freedom in our lifetime was muted by the first General Council of the ANC Youth League that was held in Midrand. And the ANC followed and said that the second transition and following the second century of the ANC, the most important task is economic freedom. And others went to form a political organization and they call it economic freedom. But that economic freedom was muted by the ANC Youth League. Comrades, the deepening crisis of youth unemployment requires us to build an economic model that places young people at the center across spectrum. Young people should not merely be recipients of such interventions, but should play a central role as its architects and midwives. They should lead the efforts to build a new economy where young people are on the driving seat. Mineral beneficiation, technology revolution that includes artificial intelligence, services, and many more. Young people must lead this economic revolution. This was partly the essence of the integrated youth development strategy, wherein youth development is not an afterthought, but an integral program of development at all levels. The ANC's 54th ANC National Conference resolved that the Youth League needs to diligently and progressively implement its twin tasks. Firstly, it must organize, mobilize, and educate young people behind the vision of the ANC and continue to be a political school for new generations. Secondly, it must champion the interests of young people in the ANC. These tasks mean that the Youth League must take up the challenges facing the young people of South Africa. This must posture the Youth League since 1994 because it recognized the youth were not only integral to the broader society, but were similarly influenced by it. The ANC strategy and tactics define the kind of youth league that can deliver this revolutionary task. Throughout its history, the Youth League has always been at the forefront of shaping public discourse, ideologically, politically, and in terms of championing youth development. We should never downplay the importance of the PYA as a vehicle to mobilize young people and rally them behind the Youth League and resolving the challenges that affect young people in all facets of life. When the ANC is under attack, the ANC Youth League must be the first line of defense without becoming sycophantic. Youth socio-economic marginalization in general and unemployment in particular remains an intractable challenge that requires paradigm shift in the solutions we seek, underpinned by collective action steeped on urgency to find lasting solutions. This extends to our overall approach to transformation, which is the primary driver of our efforts to improve the lives of our people, including delivery of basic services to our people across all spheres of government. Education remains the cornerstone of our social transformation and should be at the center of our youth development interventions. As Thomas Sankara, a Marxist-Leninist, once stated, the enemies of our people are those who keep them in ignorance. Our country needs educated youth to tackle youth unemployment, find innovative strategies and solutions to support entrepreneurship and ensure job creation. The age of technology provides immense opportunities for the youth. Realization of a better life for all is what the youth of 1976 fought for. However, the vandalizing of public infrastructure, including schools, clinics and roads during service delivery protests, tells us that we have a lot of work to do in educating our people. The current moment requires us not only to produce a learned cadre, but also a committed one, similar to those nurtured at Solomon Mahlangu Freedom College, the ANC school in Tanzania. Comrades, the newly educated South African cadre will have to take us through the uncharted waters of the 21st century, characterized among other things by the fourth industrial revolution, an era of unprecedented technological revolution, affecting every aspect of our lives, from healthcare, education, social interactions, and the economy. Education without political consciousness can be dangerous. Similarly, as a hired soldier who could fight in any frontier for a living, even if that frontier is counter-revolutionary. We have seen how eloquent young blacks have been deployed to counter the revolution by clothing it with a black skin and a false association with the interest of the masses of our people. As we forge a new path to accelerate the pursuit of economic freedom and social change now and not later, we should deepen our understanding of the national question, which remains a pervasive issue, an integral part in our pursuit for a democratic society. Tribalism, which the ANC fought against from its inception in 1912, also continues to rear its ugly head. As the late Dr. Chuba Ogajibo, an intellectual and a philosopher, asserted, if you are emotionally attached to your tribe, religion or political leaning to the point that the truth and justice become secondary consideration, your education is useless. Your exposure is useless. If you cannot reason beyond petty sentiments, you are a liability to mankind. Our efforts to decisively tackle poverty must not waver. We owe it to those who laid down their lives in the liberation struggle to ensure that our people live dignified lives. The generations that came before us defined their respective missions and carried them out with distinction. It is the task of the current generation to define its mission, execute it diligently in order for future generations to stand on your shoulders. drinking on the well of your wisdom in charting a bright future for generations to come. Ultimately, the struggle was about land. It was about the economy. Hence, the importance of continuously engaging government on progressive economic activities that empower young people so that they grow into adults that own the economy. That is why the Youth League must not tire in engaging government on youth economic empowerment. Youth unemployment will not decrease until the youth become employers. With regard to the blacklisting of students on account of tertiary education fees, we have, as the ANC, made it clear that the National Credit Act regulations constituted a flagrant violation of access to higher education and the role of higher education in employment creation, based on the principle of opening the doors of learning and culture, as advocated by the Freedom Charter. Access to education must not be used as hindrance to future economic opportunities. We therefore welcome the withdrawal of the regulations and call upon the private sector to continue to contribute to employment of young people and facilitate their entrance into the labor market without the impediments previously imposed by National Credit Act. We are in the same vein, say all laws that are a hindrance to accepting young people into employment must be done away with. Young people must get their experience of employment at the workplace, and that is what we must strive for. Young people must get the experience of employment at the workplace, and that is what is important. We remain emphatic that students should not be blacklisted for a debt owing to educational institutions. One of the most critical tasks of the Youth League is ensuring youth economic participation. This is linked to the twin tasks of the Youth League, which is to champion youth interest. The Youth League must internalize the agenda to renew organization and reposition it as the electoral choice of the masses of our people in the next year's local government elections. This task too is directly linked to the twin tasks, which is to mobilize the youth behind the vision of the ANC. As the ANC will continue to ensure that we win back the trust of our people through evidence of service delivery and broader national transformation. The immediate task, comrades, is to convene all our councillors in the roll call on Monday, 15 September 2025. In our endeavors to ensure that we provide speedy and effective service delivery to communities. This weekend we will convene a special National Executive Committee meeting that will deliberate on the marching orders that the President will deliver during the roll call. Comrades, this is not a rally of councillors. It is marching orders. If you don't execute the mandate of the ANC, ship out. And that is what is important. And this is what this roll call is all about. Comrades, the Youth League of Colin Malachi must be counted in the ANC as the Youth League that contributed in the renewal agenda of the ANC to undermine factionalism in our structures, to undermine gatekeeping, to ensure that the ANC is free to all. Comrades, that is going to happen with your assistance. Most of you will belong to the structures of the African National Congress. You are members. You participate in the branches of the ANC. As we march on, we must defend the revolution, defend the integrity of the ANC. We must fight corruption. We must not be counted as a statistic. The ANC have resolved on the fight against corruption. We are fighting. We are implementing decisions of the organization against corruption. Gone are the days when a comrade is accused of corruption. We sing along him or her on his way to court. Umntu nomntu makazimele ngenqa yakhe elangeni. Motho le motho a ikemele a le mong. Because ANC never sent us to government to steal. Those who steal, comrades, or who are accused, they must stand on their own. Youth League and all ANC structures, we must never prevaricate against corruption and ill discipline in our structures. We are very happy, Comrade Colin, about the conduct of your Youth League. And the provincial secretary was giving me a report, and the deputy president, that the Youth League is on the rise. Comrades, if the Youth League falters on discipline, doomed is the ANC. It means the ANC does not have a future. We all came from the Youth League. Me, yeah, when I come to the Youth League, I'm Secretary General, but I've come home. I walked this path, all the steps, Nabo Zigalal, and everybody else. We were all prepared by the ANC, Youth League. And tomorrow, you will also benefit the ANC in terms of leadership from these ranks. And that is why we must follow and understand the foundational cause and internalize it when it comes to political discipline. In the ANC, you cannot be happy about everything. But you don't go around mobilizing negatively. You sit, you fight for what you believe is right where you are. People who do negative things, we know they don't last. You know, I was told when I was coming here that I was going to be booed by my comrades from Mpumalanga because they are not happy about Nhlanzini. Let me tell you, I run the ANC and I belong to a collective and nobody will intimidate me. You can boo me for decisions of the ANC, but angeke ungithunduze. Ngakhethwa econferenceni. I belong to a collective. You cannot use the platform of the ANC to come and boo the ANC Secretary General because you are unhappy about the outcome of a conference in Nhlanzini. That is wrong. That is an ANC. It is anti-revolution. It is reactionary. You must go backwards and understand where you are. This is a very important platform of young people. And this is a very important platform of the youth. Youth League in the ANC was banned for a long time. And it has come back. Look at how beautiful it is. It has come back. And comrades, this youth league will never die, ever again. And that is why, when we came into office, our priority was to revive the youth league. Safika la youth league ifile inama-task team. Sayivusele. Yanyula ulucha, it elected the youth which are within age. When you look at Colin, you don't have to ask is he old or young. You can see he's young. He's very young, educated and smart. And this is the youth of the ANC. And when you look at this NEC, look at them, I'm not patronizing them. You've got people here with masters. You've got people here who come from all walks. But most importantly, they are young. Mina comrades, I left the youth league when I was 37. The last youth league president before it collapsed, he was 37 and still fighting to remain. And Colin Malachi is the first president who can at least have 2 terms or even more. I'm not, but we are very proud of a young ANC Youth League. Hi, Youth League yamaxhego namaxhegokazi. Comrades, I don't wish you well because the DP did that. Keep up the faith and lead the youth of the country because the youth want leadership. And you are providing it every day. Don't be deterred. From time to time, when we remind you, don't go out of line, don't be deterred. The Youth League will not go to DC under our watch. Because nothing is a good DC dollar. It will not go to DC. As the SG, I will not take Colin to DC. But Colin not Colin. You know why? Because Colin is allowed to make mistakes. And therefore, whenever I make mistakes, like Halima taught me and Sithe Zigalan, we must sit him down. Mchana ungaika khulu ngapha. But he's the president of the Youth League. And the president of the Youth League briefed me and the SG. They said, you want an early conference. You have agreed to that. So, Colin must go and find money for it. That early conference. But it must first be agreed by the ANC, NEC. And I'm going to report that to the NEC, that the Youth League want an early conference. And we will decide about it. As I conclude, comrades, the moment of now, as I conclude, if you forget everything I've said, the moment of now is to defend the revolution. The moment of now is to defend, is to do what? The moment of now is to defend the revolution. Comrades, we are not in a good space. There are people who talk about succession in the ANC. Ubani nalo nalo. Don't follow people who run succession on WhatsApp groups. Abeko nase branchi na babandu. The discipline of the ANC says you must wait. Yeah. We must go and win the election next year. Because if we don't win that election, we don't convince our people that the ANC as their vehicle that they believe in is still alive. The revolution is gone. Iphelile i-revolution. What leader of the ANC will you be? You will be a leader of the ANC in the opposition. Izabi hambile i-revolution. If you want any confusion, start with succession discussion. The other day, the Women's League was saying they want a woman president. And we called them and said, not now. At the right moment, if you want a woman president, you can say it. But not now. It will come. That will come. At the right moment when it has to be discussed. No, listen. If you want to derail us, listen. If you want to derail us, get involved in that discussion. And comrades, it is important because most of you belong to the structures of the organization. We will have enough time to agree, to engage, to disagree on the matter of leadership. Let us focus on winning power. And that is going to be led by the ANC Youth League on the ground and all the structures of the organization. And that requires discipline and order in the ANC. You have never seen political parties, even the most disorganized, bangwapana in the streets. It's only us who like to dirty their linen in the public. You have had a good General Council, which is going to produce the results. And that's what must be celebrated. And the youth here are going to hear what the Youth League does to fight for them. The withdrawal of this credit regulations by government, it is because of the ANC Youth League. And others are going to say, we started. Don't argue with them, leave them. Continue with what is right and champion the cause of the youth. The ANC Youth League was formed for that. And don't be misdirected. You are on course. You are on course 100%. And there is no other youth league either than this one. We must support SASCO. We must win all the campuses in South Africa. And I was very happy, Comrade Ngudle, the other day when we saw you convening the PYA. Those are real issues. We see the Youth League grappling with matters that affect the youth. At Amapiano, I can't join him any longer. When I go to Amapiano, they say, hey, no baba ka kukilo. Kutiwa ukuko otandayo. But Amapiano else, but it's a popular culture that has evolved over time. And our association with the popular culture has never been about popularity. It has always been about how we understand the youth of South Africa, who have defied all odds and said, we don't want to be like Americans. We have our own identity. And that is why Kwaito came into being. That is how Amapiano has come into being and has become a global genre in the whole world, coming from South Africa. It's because the youth, said we can rap, we can do anything, but we don't want to be like Americans. That is why they even rap in their own language. Kastonga, Kaspedi, the scores. because they are just not mimicking and robots. And that's why you have Mapori, Kabza the Small, and many others. And today, exporting a global genre coming from South Africa. And that is why the Youth League must understand that particular context. It's very important. So, comrades, I want to thank you for the opportunity of being here. As the ANC, we support this General Council. Its outcome is a revolutionary. This particular General Council. And comrades, keep the discipline. You have kept the discipline, and we thank you for that. It means the Youth League is alive, the Youth League is back. And that is the message I'm carrying to the NEC tomorrow. Amandla! Awethu! Uzoyithola kanjani? Uhlele khoneni? Ayeye Colin Malachi, ayeye! Ayeye ANC Youth League, ayeye! Pata ANC, pata! Kokela ANC, kokela! Amandla! Roar, young lions, roar! Roar, young lions, roar!
Savumela, oh savumela, siphethi intwethi savuma, savuma. Siphethi intwethi savuma. Siphethi intwethi savuma. Umandela tayishome, Umandela tayishome hlasele. 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 Manja, 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 Manja! Manja! Amanja! Away two! Away two! Amanja! Comrades, Secretary General of the ANC, former SG and President of the Youth League, we thank you very much for coming to our National General Council. This is an historic National General Council. And I think we must clap hands for ourselves. We have also, SG, I forgot to, one last briefing. The ANC LGC requested the Youth League to withdraw the apology of Tea Party. They are saying that it's a Tea Party. Now, next time I speak, it's no longer my resolution, it's a resolution of the NGC. Now, the apology is withdrawn. Comrades, we have also requested the SG to release the president tomorrow to come and address our celebration. Now, comrades, in less than 4 days, would have been addressed by almost. We are a very serious ANC Youth League. If you don't take us serious, it's at your own risk. Even Comrade Mbalula, Comrade ANCYL Lungisa, they've never had 4 officials addressing them every day. Now, SG, we pray that you succeed, because we've already committed to the youth here that the president addresses. But also the president has made a message for us. I request that before we move further, Comrade SG, we've also agreed to the SG of the Youth League that we'll have this hall will be a commission for all the commissions. Now, no one is going to go out. When we are done with the messages, those who must come and report and all of those things, everything will happen here, discussion will happen here. We attempted the breakaway commissions, SG. It was very difficult. And the ANC leadership that went to those commissions, they saw that it was nearly empty. Then we agreed to the SG that this must be the platform that we must use for that process. Now, Comrade Zama, I'm requesting that you, with your team, you play the message from the president of the ANC.
Comrade President of the ANC Youth League, Colin Malachi, the officials of the ANC Youth League, and all delegates to your National General Council. I am so delighted to have this opportunity to congratulate you all for holding what I believe is emerging as an extremely successful National General Council. This is a defining moment for the ANC Youth League, that you have succeeded since you held your conference to stabilize the ANC Youth League, to establish structures, your regions, in the provinces, as well as your branches. This is a phenomenal achievement since the ANC Youth League has been dogged by a number of divisions, a number of problems and challenges. You, as the new leadership of the ANC Youth League at national, provincial, regional and branch level, are proving to be the real comrades who will lead not only the ANC Youth League, but the ANC itself and the country in the coming years. You are building a strong foundation for what the ANC Youth League should be and what the ANC should be. The renewal project that we were mandated by a conference to embark upon is showing fruit. It is showing progress, and we now need to continue consolidating. And your National General Council is a very practical act of consolidating the renewal project. So I congratulate you and I thank you for all that you are doing. You are proving to be dedicated comrades who will take our organization forward. I also wish you great luck for your rally. The officials of the ANC Youth League had asked me to come and address your rally, which I was looking forward to very much. But the Secretary General of the ANC said, I cannot abandon the National Executive Committee meeting, which is meeting on the very day, on your rally day. So the national imperative has kicked in, and I'm not abandoning the ANC Youth League. I want to be with you and will be with you in spirit, and I will also be with you in other manifestations that you will have either at provincial, at the regional level. We want to see the ANC Youth League rising from the instability and dysfunctionality of the past. You are the future. And I look very much forward to hearing about the decisions that you will be taking in your National General Council. And I hope that those decisions will take the ANC forward as we go to National General Council in December. And I say forward to the ANC Youth League and Amandla, to all of you. The very best for your rally on Saturday. Thank you.